the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks.
Coach, it is a sound like no other when they raise that 12th man flag here in Seattle. We just heard it, and that means it's time for football at CenturyLink Field. Today, it's an NFC West battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Now Wilson on first down. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
Gets it to Meredith, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. DeForest Buckner, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. They'll run on first down. McFarland, and just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. On first down, McFarland. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
From the 44, Winston. This pass complete to Higgins. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball is thrown.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Working out of the gun, Winston. Complete to Bryant. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 3rd down, Winston. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs? Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, we're going to sell the go. Just go, and let's see who's faster.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. The linebacker, Fred Warner, right there on the coverage. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such. I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game, because you can it's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Seahawks have recovered.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the...
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Now Winston. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Brandon, their last miss on 3rd down, they actually were able to alleviate it because they picked it up with a 4th down conversion. I don't know that they'd be wise to try and do that again here. To me, you got to punt the ball away.
Now it's Lockett. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So that flag will cost them 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Wilson going to fake the give and keep it himself. That's complete to the tight end, Saubert. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 3-0 after one on EA Sports. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. This is Carson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and now look at him go. He's at the 40, past the 20, 10, touchdown 49ers. Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything had to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And the Seahawks on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. So here are the Niners to take over on offense. They were winners last week in that game against Kansas City, and they are on top right now as well. They've got it 1st and 10. Winston now to throw on first down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
On second down now, McFarland. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on third and just a yard.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
They'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer at him again.
From the 2 now, second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And across the goal line, into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. A great play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments. Let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking. Beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Chris Carson trotting back out there. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go...
Now Carson fumbles the football. And this is going to be 49er football.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense. So the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
Now from back at the 5. This is 3rd and goal. Now a give, right side. McFarland, and he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half. Here the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A 15-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Chris Carson trotting back out there. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try to loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards. So all of a sudden with that run, maybe now a chance for points here.
It's a total mind shift, isn't it? Because what you were saying before was, hey, let's just get out of here, get the half over with. Instead, we can get some points now.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. He had his lone attempt blocked earlier. Carlson able to put this one through. And now they'll just need 4 touchdowns as the deficit is now 28. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston, he's going to loft one deep over the middle. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. But they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
A run on 1st down, but it's not going to get them much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9. I got one. 30-yard slam.
They run again with Carson. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. On 3rd down, Wilson setting up the screen. This is Samuels. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. That'll pick up the 1st down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Here's Wilson. Completes this one to Meredith. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
On 2nd down, It's Carson, and he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Chris Carson, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was all capped off by the Chris Carson touchdown run. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On 1st and 10, Winston. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
He's going to rifle one. It's caught at the 10. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That pass was heavily defended on 3rd down, but you know what? He's one of the best in the league at body control, and he showed you why there.
So what that tells you is that the guy throwing the football understands his guys, doesn't he? Give them a chance, put it up there, and realize that even in a battle, they're more than likely to come down with the football.
From the gun, Winston. And Winston lost the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
But that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him.
Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you.
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. In for the score. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs. If you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some more. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On the delay, here's Carson. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and possession will... Switch hands, 1st and 10. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On 2nd and 15 now. Winston throws right side, and that's complete. He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 15 for the Niners there and a first down. A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. They'll throw again. Winston. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. They'll run on first down. McFarland. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great play there. with touchdown number 3 here in this game, and 17 now on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game, and privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching, and he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Throwing is Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. He's got a man complete. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. It's a big play there for Seattle. And even 40 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. From the shotgun, Wilson. It's complete. Stills. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. And they try to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Wilson's pass complete to Kenny Stills. That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. To throw again is Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Kenny Stills, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
That play was blocked so well, it almost felt like a 7-on-7 session with no rush at all. Quarterback was able to stay in the pocket, scan the field, go through his progressions, and find the open receiver for a touchdown.
So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating. and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
And once again, not much running room, if any at all. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Jameis to throw it. And that will be incomplete. It was Trey Flowers that time who got a hand in and broke it up.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. To throw is Wilson. Wide open receiver, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 25 yards that time.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They go draw play. This is Samuels. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. Space to maneuver, and the ball is knocked out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try the left side. Brooks. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. On 2nd down now, McFarland, and he'll go down at the 28. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On first down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Brooks. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Let's go.
Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
And they take a knee. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for San Francisco, they just keep on rolling